Howdy, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Let me get. Sorry, almost fell out of my chair. Okay. Let me cue that up. Now, I just need to do a quick validation of everything, and then we will be good to go. I'll also give some time for others to pop in, so it's not me just talking to empty air for right now. But okay, so that's good. Sure. We hope. I'm not seeing it here yet. I don't know why. Okay, on the tube though. Okay. Let me quick check out that it's not streaming. Huh. Uh, Politics. That's weird. It didn't have a problem when I was doing it. Yeah. Hold on. What is going on? I don't have to, but I wouldn't. I wanted it to. Oh well. That sucks though. Unless if it's gonna do it after, but okay. I can't deal with it if it's not going to. Okay. Well, everyone, welcome to the channel. Everything is queued up except for Twitch for some weird reason does not want to. Everything else is good. It won't stream in Twitch. That's an interesting. It did it during Magic, so I don't know why it's not doing it now. Anyways, welcome to the channel. I am Eli. I do this so many times. I should know this. Welcome all to the channel. I am TheologyMatters. You can call me Eli. And for my people in District 6 of Oklahoma, I am The Anomaly. So today we're going to have a fun breakdown. The final count that, three times I've talked about Nancy Mace. And today is the last time because I put the nail in the coffin and I got a lot filled with my humor because she's really easy to make fun of. Just saying that. She's really easy to make fun of. But yeah, we are going to lose the message. Thank you. Sorry, hold on. Chat of restream is a sorry, give me two. There we are finally. So we're gonna talk quickly about Nancy Mace. I say quickly. There are gonna be a few points I'm gonna hit on that yeah, she's not gonna like. But anyways, other than that, we're gonna talk quickly about hold on, what was the rest? Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey did a dum dum filled with his co-chair guy. I don't watch him too much, but it was a weird video that they posted. And so now I'm gonna basically show it and kind of refute some of it because it was a doozy. Then I think I didn't have time actually for the Emily Saves America and the populism one, so that one's gonna just be scrapped and I'll send it over to next week. But so I think I'll be double up on Lowe's and because we got Return of the Land. I want to talk about Return of the Land briefly. Because it's weird. And kind of antithetical to the message that I try to give off on this channel. But yeah, we are going to do that. We're gonna have some fun quick, and yeah, we'll see what's cracking in a sec. Let me just hold on. Give me 1 second to try this out, and then we'll get started because that is horrendous that it doesn't. Wait, this is offline. Sending data. Hold on. Is it lying to me? Yeah, Twitch is lying to me. Twitch is lying to me. Let me I don't want to deal with that. Okay. We'll just leave it. I really wanted to do that though. That's a bummer. I don't know why it's not doing that. It should, unless like it's politics. It's in the right section. Could it be the title? Here, let me shorten the title. Maybe that's a problem. I know Rumble had a problem with. Okay, let me save that. Okay, it doesn't say it's streaming there. Oh well. I have 5. I can do it. I can do it. Oh well. I'm not going to deal with the get in, get out, and all that jazz. If it's not going to do it, it's just not going to do it. That is a bummer though. Anyways, so we'll get into it. Before that, real quick, besides the work that I have to do, if you guys could hit that big red button if you're on YouTube and hit the subscribe, the follow, or whatever to stay in queued. If you like what you're hearing later, that would help me out. Please give me a thumb, either this one or this one. But if you're gonna give me this one, please write a message why. Other than that, we'll get into it. So we are though getting into the big original ideas, right? So we need me to find the you little twerps. They moved it. Oh, that's why it's yelling at me. Okay. So we got. I do this mainly so I can chop it up. Okay, Dave. Wasn't that a great vid? So I was scrolling on Twitter the other day, and I ran across a weird post that Nancy Mace posted, and I didn't think much of it because Nancy Mace does a lot of weird things. She's a unique character to say the least. And she was ripping off the Sydney Sweeney jeans thing, which I'm just gonna say this: no Gen Z guy really cares about the jeans because it's all boomer slop. Let's get that out of the way first. It's just boomer slop. It's just to be like, oh, you triggered the left. Like that's essentially the gist. But I was very interested to find out that she had a site, and I figured, oh, she's just rerunning for re-election. No, Nancy Mace is seeking a great promotion. Governor of South Carolina. Well, that's one state that's going to be in ruins. No, it probably wouldn't be that bad, but yeah. South Carolina, you're being led by a woman. Small lead violin. Anyways, so we're gonna discuss Nancy Mace. So these are the vids that I like doing best. Because it's just her. I just have to find things to nail. Critique her. There we are. The N-word is not that in there. The other N-word. I don't want to be no. She's like 47. She's like twice my age. And also twice divorced. Sorry. I don't know how she's from the South and she's got that record and she still is in office. Which I say as an Oklahoman, which, I'm practically in the South, Midwest. I'm kind of in both arenas. Um, but yeah, anyways, what was I getting on? Oh yeah, she's in South Carolina. So we're gonna tackle her, and I like this format. As I was saying, I like this format. It's nice and simple. I just go after her. When I went after Drummond, Valentina Gomez, those were the videos that, while technically did well on the channel, which isn't the reason that I like doing them. I like doing them because it's just I'm able to just flick stuff at them. So Nancy Mace, I kind of halfway did one. I was talking about the transgenderism. So that was the first time I did. Second time was another stream that I did where I was going after conservative women, and I kind of like lightly glazed her as being a conservative feminist. And lo and behold, deja vu. But yeah, so we're gonna go into how Nancy Mace is, because I kind of treat this as a, like, if I was a voter, what would I be looking at? What is important to me? What are some facts that I would consider? This is, I would say, it would be a complete overview, because there are so far 4 other people besides her. So those people I haven't looked at. There is a runner up, kind of like the current primary polling. There's currently South Carolina's attorney general. He's supposedly like the head. Good grief, Dr. Pepper coming back for round 2. So maybe at the end of this, I'll look into him just briefly to be like, oh, he's a Zionist, so then I can just throw him under the bus or something. But anyways, we're gonna talk about Nancy Mace, but before that, real quick, I'm going to show the trailers. Not trailers, teasers. I call them teasers more. It reminds me of teasers more because even in my campaign, I call them teasers because there's not really any stuff. Like Drummond had a 3-minute video. That's a campaign vid. This is more of send it to Instagram type stuff. So we're going to start though with the campaign video. Yeah, so it should be this one. Oops. Sorry, gotta flip. Let's roll.
A House Republican has drawn the ire of both Democrats and members of her own party.
She has a way of getting under their skin.
Representative Nancy Mace. Firebrand Republican Congresswoman Nancy Mace.
She's a fighter. I know about that. She's a fighter.
She learned resilience early on. Mace became the first woman to graduate from South Carolina's famed.
I just want to point out, one, because I need to break copyright stuff and on the off chance. Remember that fact. She went to the Citadel, right? She went to the Citadel. Citadel was a primarily men, or at least during her time was a men's college. So I just want to keep that in eye when we discuss more. Yeah, Firebrand, very much so, but not necessarily in the way I think that she wanted. And I rather this. Sorry, there we are. Oops, sorry, threw chat away. So let's continue.
Military college.
You've taken a lot of abuse for standing up for the rights of women.
But what they forget is that, Laura, I'm the first woman to graduate from the Citadel. I will not be bullied into silence.
Nancy Mace scores a huge victory in her fight to keep biological men out of women's bathrooms.
Okay, I'd also like to, again, I'm breaking it, but I'd also like to mention that she scored a huge victory. Keep that in mind. That one's gonna get hit real early in the third section. But remember that. She scores large victory. Remember that. Oops.
We will be courageous. We will be resilient.
When she sets her sight on something, she's tough.
And we will be prepared to take on the challenges of this historic moment.
I'm only going to say this. South Carolina, please don't. please don't. Like, please, because she ain't running again. She's out of the house if you guys kick her out. So she goes into Forgotten Land. Please. Please. Like, I do not need, I'm going to be playing videos, but we don't need Nancy Mace. The Republican Party does not need Nancy Mace. The Conservative Party does not bring in Nancy Mace. I do not call her a sister of the politics party. Sure. Because honestly, a Democrat is honestly at least honest about their positions. So is she, but yeah, Democrats just anyways. I'm getting ahead of myself. But so that was one video. And then she's only done one other video, which again I'm gonna have to break up because there's probably copyrighted music in it.
Republican Congresswoman Nancy Mace is now launching a bid to become the next governor of South Carolina. She says she will govern, quote, like Trump in high heels.
To the radical left, brace yourselves. And to the great people of the great state of South Carolina, help is on the way.
I'd rather drown. Sorry. So anyways, so let's first discuss this though. So who is Nancy Mace? What's so cool about Nancy Mace? So first, she's 48 years old, which she does kind of look like it. I won't deny. She's graying. She's getting there. So she's been twice divorced, as I mentioned earlier. 3 times she's been engaged. So that's been the 2 for the marriages. And then that third guy, keep him in mind. The third guy, actually, I'll just say it now. There's the third guy, which she then accused. She broke off the engagement and then accused him in the chambers of Congress that he was a predator. And now she's being sued for defamation by one of the dudes because I guess her fiance is maybe a predator, but the other guy isn't. And so she labeled them both. So kind of fits though, to be fair. She's got 2 children from the second marriage that lasted 15 years. So she broke, I don't know who divorced whom, but marriage broke. The domestic church broke in her house. Although she's a non-denominational Protestant from a mega church. Divorce ain't really a thing. And that's just Protestant doctrine. Like that's not even like a problem. It's just she's an evangelical Protestant. They don't exactly believe in the same like strictness to the sacrament of marriage because they don't consider it a sacrament. So as I said, as even the video she made, she came from the Citadel, which was like a military college. She actually was working before she came into the U.S. State House or the U.S. House of Representatives. She was at the South Carolina's State House, and she was there for only like 1 term. She won a special election in like 2017. In 2018, so she was like 40 years old. Which I'm just gonna repeat this again. What is it with these weird boomers? Or not boomers. Gen X. She's a Gen X. Yeah, Gen X. She's Gen X. I don't understand why there's this like surge of Gen X politicians who haven't been in politics for decades. And then all of a sudden, it's like Trump came around and they all got, oh, we need to do something. It's like, is there a reason you weren't doing that in your 20s, 30s? Now, to be fair, she's a woman, so there's kind of some caveats there. But just the same. It's like, if she was going to do this, why didn't you do it before? That's right. It wasn't financially incentive or life-wise. Or you just didn't care, one of the two. But it's just really fishy, though. Like, it's really fishy, her career with this, because after she took that 1 term, she then went to the South Carolina. She was still in South Carolina, but she's then your U.S. House rep. And she's been that rep since 2020. Yeah, that's essentially where she's been. Now, South Carolina, to be fair, you guys have a problem with your Senate because you have Lindsey Graham. And I did not know that Nancy Mace tried prior in, what was it? 14. No, not 14. Yeah, 14, sorry. That's a 4. 14, she tried for the U.S. Senate seat against Lindsey Graham. She lost. She only got like 6%. So that was fun to know. That was an interesting fact, but it's like I did not realize South Carolina has Lindsey Graham, and because I kind of forget about Lindsey Graham because the only time you hear about him is when Raytheon stock goes up. So yeah, so that's essentially like the political look at what she's done. At least we're gonna go into some other points. But first, before we go any further, I just want to talk about like what is the rules to even be the South Carolina's governor, because she was at one point going to run for re-election. Now she's dropping out of that, which is weird because I got a report that she wasn't and she was double dipping, and then I got a report that she isn't and she's full on the governor. So, but I think I would assume the full governor in Oklahoma you can only do one. So, like, I can only do the state house. I cannot double dip and go to the Senate as well, just because it's open as well. But you have to be at least 30. So she's well in her age for that. She has to be a U.S. citizen and a South Carolina resident for at least 5 years. And then they have this weird in their constitution, this like unenforced because people, atheists exist. But there's this unenforced rule to believe in the supreme being, which South Carolina, I'm pretty sure, was one of the colonies. But like, it's kind of a fault of Protestantism. Like, superior being, you mean God? You mean, like, you mean God? You mean, I don't know, Jesus? Like, why? I don't understand. Like, this is kind of getting back into the thing I talk about. I talk about on Twitter, which you should totally follow me there. That there's this weird thing in Protestantism where they talk about how America was a Protestant nation, and yet all like names of like any theology or God, Jesus, or anything is all like kind of like skirted away. Like, it's just like, well, we believe in God. It's like God's a very subjective term. Like a Muslim says God, which, you know, or Allah or whatever, tomato, you know, it's like it doesn't really have the sting that it was supposed to be. Oh, yay. Sorry, I won credits. So, I also then found out that she has to run jointly with her lieutenant governor. So that's interesting. I don't know who she's going to pick. More than likely, she's going to have to pick someone. In my view, she's going to have to pick someone that's going to be a bit more, I wouldn't say organized, but political wise. She's got to be more, what word am I thinking of? Someone with a bit more substance than showmanship, because she's very much of a character. But the problem with being a character is you kind of don't have the other stuff. And we're gonna go into that soon. Like literally almost the next section. So, but she's got to get a lieutenant governor. More than likely, she could pull someone from the race. Because so she's facing so far 4 other people. There's the lieutenant governor going for the governor. That's Pamela Everett. There's the state senator Josh Kimbrell. There's the House rep, so another rep from South Carolina, Ralph Norman. He's basically her as well, equal footing. And then there's the AG, Al Wilson. And so far, he and her are contested for the top seed. So I don't know why I said football terms, but we're going to let it go. But it's funny enough, that is the same AG that she was talking about earlier during that, when she got in defamation because she was charging about the sexual abuse and all that. Which she gets on a lot more. And I understand that she used to, like, she got essayed as a 16-year-old. The thing that's weird is, like, she says it, and, like, I don't doubt that she was. She doesn't either sound healed from that trauma, which I hate to say that because it sounds very leftisty, but men are different from women. So, like, men can just deal with trauma. It's we kind of just like ball up and do it. But women are kind of a different character in that way. But it's interesting because she like talks about it a lot, and it's just like, to me, it kind of like cheapens it. I don't know. It just leaves a sour taste in my mouth. I'm not doubting that she didn't. I hope, or at least I don't know too much about it. It happened, when she was 16, so that's decades ago. For crying out loud, I wasn't born. Yeah, I wasn't born yet. But yeah, so other than that, so we're gonna go into the meat now. The meat. We're not at Arby's. I wish we were. Now, what I think is ironic. Sorry, I'm changing my notes. So what I think is ironic is, so we're going to talk about PR guru, because that is what Nancy Mace is. Nancy Mace knows what she's doing. She knows how to play people. And I say that as a dude who is also running for office, right? So, of course, this is why I say my channel has a nice caveat to it, because of the fact that I'm also going to be entering the ring. I'm basically be yelling at some of my peers. Like, for crying out loud, if Drummond wins, I've got a video on my channel that basically says I think he's a snake. So that'll be fun. And hope not. I'll be voting for practically anyone but him. But it's interesting because you see from what was it? I got it from Wikipedia, and I actually forgot to look it up. Okay, I think it exists. But Nancy Mace had a PR firm called the Mace Group, as if her last name Mace. Now, so she has this PR campaign or firm. So she knows how to play a crowd. She knows how to stir up commotion. She knows how to swing things around to her victory. And I think that's why there are people like myself and a lot of Gen Zers who are just like, we pick up on her stuff because it's just unauthentic as possible. So I want to say this though. I got another vid because this video is actually ironic because she said this during the launch, and I got to play it now so it makes sense when we keep going through this, because I'm basically going to have to repeat this video again and again and again but I'm not, because it basically is going to sum up a lot about her, which is ironic because it's only like 10 seconds long.
I'm going to show you.
Okay, flip. Oh, it's 30. Sorry.
I'm going to show you a couple of my plans, because I don't want you to believe what the fake news is going to tell you, that Nancy Mace only does memes. Not to take her seriously when I am one of the most serious members of Congress.
One of the most serious members of Congress. Don't give me that. I laughed really hard when I listened to that the first time. I was like, nah. Like, there's being funny, and then there's her.
They don't like conservative women. They don't.
That's not true. Conservative men love conservative women. We do. We just don't like it when they're basically a man.
Don't like it when women speak up. The left hate women. They want men in our bathrooms. We're going to stop that in South Carolina, because on day one, if you give me a bathroom bill, state legislature, I will sign it into law. We're going to keep men out of
okay.
This is going.
So the main point that I want to give is this.
Show you a couple of my plans, because I don't want you to believe what the fake news is going to tell you, that Nancy Mace only does memes. Not.
I want you to remember that. Nancy Mace only does memes. I want you to remember that. Remember that. Where is the... I wrote this. And it's... Oh! I skipped video. Sorry, I have like 5 videos logged in one row. So the fact that I missed it is not entirely surprising. This was... Okay, so that was important. That was next on the queue anyways. But I meant to start out with this one. This was during, I think, her launch.
An announcement that...
Okay, yeah. So this is from a news report, though. Okay. Now, yeah, okay. Yeah, this is only 10 seconds. So I was I had the video right, but my eyes didn't catch the right.
An announcement that didn't necessarily come as a surprise.
That's what this is about. It's not about me. It's about the people of South Carolina.
At the Citadel.
Oh, sorry. I just love that she's like, it's not about me, it's about you. But then it's like, she literally had to do that video of like, it's not about me making memes. I can actually do some things. Okay. No, you can't. And I'm going to show it later too. There's a big one that I went there. You cannot be this talkative and be this inefficient. So she really though cares because she's good at the PR. I'll give her that. She's good at PR. Problem is that it's some of the most cringy boomer slop imaginable. Because she just cares about being based, man, and like making MAGA seem cool. The problem is like that's the weakest reasons to do this. So, and one of the reasons that, or one of the examples I'll show is this video that happened in Congress, right? This is when she's representing South Carolina. South Carolina, how much do you like this?
Somebody's campaign coffers really are struggling right now. So she gonna keep saying trans, trans, trans so that people will feel threatened. And child, listen, I want y'all to tell me what.
Oh no, she got called a child. Oh no. Oh, the horror. I could have oh, the horror, the horror. She got called a child, and then Mace's response. Hold on, let's zoom it back. Mace's response.
I am no child. Do not call me a child. I am no child.
I want
Don't
to
even
find
start.
out
I am a grown
which
woman.
of those
I'm 47 years
emails
old. I have broken
actually
more
have.
glass ceilings than you
Chairman,
ever
I
will.
am reclaiming my
Let's go.
time.
You will not do that. I
Order.
am not a child. I am
I'm
not a
reclaiming
child.
my time.
If you want to take it
Because
outside,
Mr. Chairman, the committee is not
Okay.
in order.
Order.
Point of order. Point of order.
Order.
I can hear the vibrations coming from the ends of the bone conduction, and I can hear it. It is it is actually creating a tremor in my hand because it is just that loud. That's funny. But anyway, so that's Nancy Mace representing you, South Carolina. She fights. I don't understand why this became a thing though. That like everyone makes these viral clips in these community. The only thing that I have to say is that if you do your job, you're gonna just accidentally do them. You're not, but like I feel like she went after her. Now, I don't know what the other stuff is that happened, but getting called a child, come on, Mace. Like that is like the smallest insult ever to throw in. Like to lose and crash out over being called a child is weak. Just nah, come on. I know you can last better than that. So yeah, so that's as Crockett, right? That's who she fought. She fights black women in Congress because that's what she likes to do. Now, the tweet that spawned the conversation tonight, because technically Vivek was going to be up, but I thought, you know what, Mace skip the queue. We're one and done with her tonight. I won't be talking about her again probably until she loses, and then I'm just going to start dancing with an L on my hand. But this is the tweet she's had that I found. So there's the Nancy Mace to donate, and then when I was like, oh no, governor, oh no, and dread just immediately sunk in. So everyone's making fun of her though because she has no ass. I have no idea how women have asses and how they don't, because I don't check out their rears that much. I'm sorry to say that. I'm more of a face guy, and I will say her face terrifies me. Not in a like I poop my pants type of, more like. But anyways, but of course this is a boomer slop, right? No one cares about Sydney Sweeney. Only the boomers. And only those who are like, oh, so base, man. Yeah. Like low tier effort. So this is, so she's doing her PR. I'll tell her she's good, but it's all about appearance. And that's where being part of the public relations and kind of like the promotion of herself is going to come in clutch, especially when she thinks that she's going to be smart with this. So she wrote this tweet. I think it was today or yesterday. It was probably yesterday. I chopped it off, but I think it was yesterday. Could have been today. No, it was yesterday because I was looking because I tweeted about it yesterday. I remember that. But she's ranked supposedly in the top 2%. Mark that. 2%. 2%. Top 2% of the U.S. House in numbers of bills introduced. Look at that. Look at that word. Zooming in again. Introduced. Okay. Here's the thing about introduced bills. They all don't become laws. They all don't even get near that stage. Some of them don't even make it out of committee. That's how the laws are made. They go from introduction to committee to then the chambers and then the president and then it's law. So here's the thing. She says, oh, I'm in the top 2%. No. See, here's the thing. Immediately after this, I made a meme. With Patrick Bateman, and I basically said, the thing with the like show us your cards. I basically was like, now show us the bills that became laws. So because that's my first thought. Now, before I begin this, because I did do a quick deep look. Before I begin this, I'm gonna say this. I think Nancy Mace is a glory hog. I feel like she would fit that type of personality. I feel like she would be very prideful in that manner. That's at least what I would believe. And because of that, I don't think her pride would allow her that her work to be listed as someone else's. So even if she wrote a bill, I think she would write the bill and her name would be on it. If she didn't write the bill or it was as a team, she would probably be seeking to put her name on it as the primary. I sincerely doubt that she would just be okay with sitting in the shadows because nothing about her online presence tells me anything but that. Because I think if she's gonna claim a win, she would. Where like she is doing everything and everything is sometimes not working, and everything does occasionally. But she is sponsored. So she's sponsored now. Before I need to say some more definitions. So there's sponsoring and there's co-sponsor. So you can be a sponsor. That means you introduce the bill. And so you become its like handler, more or less, right? And then there's sponsoring. So you can agree to join the bill and say, like, I like this bill. You can say, like, I would support this bill. And you can do that day one or later. Now, I just kept it to the ones she sponsored because if you sponsored it, just sponsored, right? More than likely you wrote it, right? Because that's and I think that's a fair assumption to make, right? If you wrote it, you introduced it. That's just, I would assume to be a universal. If it's not, then I gotta ask, why don't you want to be associated with this bills? Which could be an advocate then that she's a coward and she doesn't want to be behind leftist bills or other bills for reasons, or she just doesn't want to do any of these bills. Because here's the thing, when I go into her sponsored bill, she only has 143 bills. She's sponsored. Once again, she's sponsored 143 bills. 143 bills. Now, this is after like 5 years, right? So this is about 30 bills a year, right? 30 bills a year that she is sponsoring, which means these are ones that she has written herself and introduced. Here's the thing. I want you to guess how many bills are currently laws. Because I was using the congress.gov's site. Tell me how many, honestly, think about how many laws. That's 143. How many laws do you think of those 143 actually became law? And the reason that I'm kind of acting like a smiling jackass is because I know the number, and the number is very sad. You know how many it is? 1. And guess what it was for? To change the name of a building. It wasn't even anything important. The name of it, oh no, we call it, what was it? Designate the facility of the United States Postal Service located at whatever in South Carolina as the Caesar H. Wright Jr. Post Office Building. Whoop-de-whoop. Oh no. Oh, that's so, that's the one bill she passed. It became law. That became law. And it's hers. Like, let me, right here. You can see right here. Sponsor is Nancy Mace. And it was done, excuse me, and this was introduced in 2021 of November. So this was her first term. Yeah, I think, or at least I think it was her first term. Yeah, this was her first term. Her first term in office, and she's the only law that actually got through. See, the thing is also, I heard someone say quantity over quality, and I think that's a good metric because there's going to be laws that you're going to have to just like admit are not going to do anything because no one cares about it. So you got to at least put effort behind a few bills that no one are going to be behind, and you push for those anyways. So like I'm thinking of a voter registration law purely because of the fact that only a quarter of Oklahomans are actually voting in primaries, and that was during a presidential, which means that it's probably like 18% coming up, which is abysmal. So I would think of ways to get, our people voting. I don't know how that would work. There's methods, there's thoughts I've had, but that's one bill. There's like get rid of the death penalty. That would be another. Getting rid of the abortion pills. That would be another. And honestly, I say that and Oklahomans will cheer my name because that's that's like a good law to be having on the books. But she's got so many that she can't focus on them in. Now, to be fair, because if you go to the site, you can search up. I just looked up Nancy Mace. That was it. And then I went through and I did some filtering. 5 laws did pass this House other than this one. 5 laws passed. There's been 6 total. 5 of them died in the Senate because they just, so this little, sorry, let me go back to it. So you see this little tracker here. So a lot of the bills just are introduced. That's it. They just got introduced and it's a black box. Why? Because it came from older Congress. So it's just dead in the water. Now, or it's not even dead in water. It was thrown into the trash bin. But then there's one where it's stopped here at passed House. So that means it died in the Senate. Now, to be fair, I will be fair that the federal government is far more colorful than South Carolina. Is more colorful than, say, Oklahoma. There are Democrats compared to like in my state and her state. So I get that, but let's be fair. You're not going to do not talk about like, oh, we introduced a buttload of laws and then talk about like, don't talk about, oh, we introduced a buttload of laws, but then it's like you only have one that's actually become something. And the one that it is like the law that I have to ask, why is that a law? I thought change it. Why does the United States Post Service have to change the name of buildings via laws? Now I understand why sometimes people say government's very ineffective. I think it's ineffective because we allow some of this dumb stuff to happen, but that's just me. But again, why does this dumb stuff happen? Because we let it happen, which is also kind of going back to the themes that I talk about, quite frankly, every stream of we let the government be the government. And because of that, we can't be surprised that the government be the government. So before though, I do want to talk about, because I talked about sponsored and co-sponsored. Now, why do I do that? Because of this. Because she did co-sponsor bills. So she's done about over 900 of them. She's co-sponsored about 900. 478 bills as an OG co-sponsor. So this could mean that she was writing 478 bills. Highly doubt that. That's a lot of bills. Within a 5 years, that's about 100 bills. Only 15 of those are a law. Yeah, that ratio's sad. I just want to report that. Hold on. I didn't have this one, but what's that ratio? So for every law she's passed, so those 15, only about 3% of them became laws. That's rough. Rough, I tell you. She's co-sponsored as not an OG co-sponsor, but she's co-sponsored 438. 37 of those are laws. But this is just being a sponsor. Sorry, that's just being a sponsor, not both, including the OG sponsor. So about 22 are laws that she sponsored later, which honestly could be right before it got in. So, but 300, it was 37 over like a 916. That's 4%. So sponsoring bills that are introduced and then made into laws, 4% chance with Nancy Mace, they're going to live. Her bills, her sponsored bills, less than 1%. That's rough. That's rough. I'll tell you, that's rough. There's no way. I bet if I go somewhere, Massey's been in office a while. Hold on. Let me take a look at Josh Burkeen. Josh Burkeen also Josh Burkeen, you know where he is? He's in Israel. Bro. I had faith in you, but no. I'm gonna vote him out next year. After, like, I loved when he was like, oh, I'm not gonna vote for McCarthy, but now that he's like, oh, well, you know, I'm at Israel and other stuff, it's like, come on, boy. So I was very sad. I thought he was going to be far better. What site was I using? Congress.gov. I really thought he was going to be better, and I'm very sad that he's not. So before that, let me... So we got Josh Burkeen. I think I butchered it again. So we just need... I'm looking him up real quick. Just 2 seconds. That's all I need, people. Wow, the Eagles beat people. Why can't I find him? Congressional record. Okay, let's go home. Members. Josh Burkeen. Hold on. If I go, this was a quick search. This wasn't like a huge thing. Burkeen. Yeah, I spelled it right. There we are. Okay, so Josh Burkeen's been in office since 2023. He's been in Oklahoma, and he covers a big selection. Like, and I say big selection. He's basically like, there is only, to put this in perspective, in the Catholic Church, there's only 2 dioceses. You're either in the Diocese of OKC or Diocese of Tulsa. And Tulsa is basically like, you chop it down from like near Stillwater, and everything on that side is of Tulsa. Anything of the left side to the Panhandle, I think, is like OKC. So now if I go into his bill, which I'm at currently. So if I go into sponsored resolution, he's got 44. Let me look at status. He's got 1. He's got 1. He's got 1 law. He's got 1 that has passed that is written by himself. And it is Department of Homeland Security Border Services Contracts Review Act. Okay, I ain't reading all that. But far different than Nancy Mace, who, you know, basically did a, I don't even know what word to describe that, facelift to a place. So, okay. So if Nancy Mace wants to chart out her impeccable record, don't let her. Just don't. If she truly wanted to talk, like, don't talk about an introduction. Like, there's a lot of people, especially in PR, they try to say one thing, but you can't. But if you look at, like, what are you not saying, there might be something that you, like, don't get tripped up, you know. But of course, anyone who sees that, like, boomers are just going to just believe it. It's going to go over their heads. And I'm not saying that boomers are stupid. I'm just saying boomers, I don't think understand how some of the world is right now. I think that's why you're kind of seeing the hate that is going on between the both of the Gen Zers and boomers. So, but anyways, so that is, at least, I'm going to say right now, that is probably her worst criticism right now, is the fact that she talks a lot of smack, and that's literally her job description, is to talk smack, because she doesn't pass anything. She's just there. And that's sad. That's sad. I don't know what her record was like in South Carolina, but like, if it's the same, wouldn't surprise me. And honestly, when I thought she was in, like, why I think it's fishy that she ran for a special election and immediately left her state to go to Washington, and now she wants to come back. It's kind of sus. Like, I know she helped in some campaigns, but like, it's kind of sus to be like, oh, well, I'm going to join my state for 2 years and then I'm going to bail. It's like, I would never do that to Oklahoma. You know why? Because like, I want to, actually spend the 12 years that I get to learn somewhat the craft. Mind you, I'm only like 23. I'll be 24 soon. But, I'm young, right? Like, I don't know. I don't have I was going to say time, but it's like, I didn't have the opportunity compared to Mace to learn. But it's like, it feels cheapened to me that she came to her district in South Carolina, won, and then immediately left the next time she could because she's big woman on campus. And then she left to go to where she is now in Washington, and now she wants back. It's like, what makes you think that she's like, let's say in 4 years, let's say in 2 years, you think that she's going to run for government, or do you think she's going to run for president? Trump's up in 2 years. She may win governor and then afterwards decide to run for office again. Like, I'm going to honestly say this, South Carolina, do you truly want a woman who bailed on you the moment that she could leave you? Or would you rather choose someone that's actually been a part of your state, which is, I will say, anyone else practically, because there's been a state senator, there's a U.S. House rep, okay, maybe not him, but there's your lieutenant governor, a state senator, and a lieutenant governor. Hold on. I said attorney general, lieutenant governor, and a state senator. There are 3 other people in there that are actually living in your state currently. I would definitely, the AG seems to be a high favorite. I don't know what he's done. Like I said, I do a quick glance at his campaign site. Let me put it this way. Another thing too, because I talked about this with Drummond. Drummond announced like practically after the November election. And like this type of announcement, it's a statewide, so I get it, but it would be about a year. So she's actually better because the election would be somewhere in June, July for probably a primary. At least in Oklahoma, that would be where it is. So I'm not going to flack her for that because it is August. So, next August, she's either in a runoff or she's done in some variation. That's it. Or she's writing, or she's finishing her opponents off. So the other point that I'd be making is the fact that I mentioned Gen Z. Gen Z. She isn't going to win any points with Gen Z, and that is because she is too chummy. Oh, wait, sorry. I skipped a vid. This is what I said. I'm sorry. I like numbered these like an hour, like 20 seconds before like we started. I finished. I had like 15 minutes to go and quickly like get a bottle of water and stuff. So, but where's the vid? There's the vid. So this video though, so I talked a lot of smack about that she didn't pass any laws. Just want to keep that in mind.
I want you to know I didn't go to Congress to make friends. I went there to make a difference. And if you need a lesson on how, I will never back down for each and every one of you.
So again, shush. So again, I like to mention the fact that Nancy Mace just said, oh, I'm there to make a difference. She made one law. And it wasn't even, and I know, honestly, it's 0. Let's be fair. It's 0. Changing the name of a building, of a post office, it was a law purely because it had to be, because it was a federal building. That's probably the only reason. No one, it's not really a law, right? Like when I think of laws, I think of like, 6-week abortion ban or, making open primaries, not, oh yeah, we changed this building from being building A to being the post office. It's like, wow, this is such a great bill, right? Yeah. Anyways, I don't know, just a quick question. Really? Okay. I'm still surprised that. Anyways, but we'll continue. So I was talking about whatchamacallit. Trump, right? You heard that in the ad that I played beforehand. The little small teaser from the radio. Or not the radio, gosh. News station. There we are. News station. She's Trump, right? You know how Trump she is? Well, I'll tell you. She's Trump in high heels. This woman worked and created a PR firm, and this is all she can come up with. I would have sought some alliteration, like she was Tranny Trump, or sorry, that one's actually really good. Actually, she could have done something, made more T's, done something like there's got to be, what's a synonym for women? Hold on, there's got to be a synonym for women that starts with a T. There's got a lady, female, lass, no, senorita, yeah, no, it doesn't appear so. Interesting. Hold on. I'm not finding what I usually will search. It's fine. So, ironically enough, she calls herself Trump in high heels because, yeah, that's a lie. Trump actually passes laws. Sorry. Like she actually passes, or he actually passes laws. He passed the big beautiful bill with her help, right? Gosh. So anyways, so we have this, oh yeah, we're totally going to, I'm like Trump. Yeah. No one likes Trump. This is from Newsweek. This headline, Trump's approval rating among Gen Z hits second term low. You know why it's low? Because Trump is barely a dude. Like, if this is a hit, like, it's going to be a hit for boomers. Like, boomers are going to be like, yeah, she's like Trump. Yeah. Good. Gen Z, we're like, oh, hell nah. Oh, hell nah. You know why? Because we don't like Trump anymore. 2016 Trump has never arrived. 2024 Trump might as well be a Democrat to some degrees. For crying out loud, like, if we want to go into a quick, like, oh, well, why don't you like Trump? We got the Epstein files that he won't release. We got the fact that the big beautiful bill was a thing. We got the Doge stuff isn't even still happening, I believe. We had the abortion stuff. He couldn't even talk about that. He had to be like, oh, it's a state's issue because he's such a coward. Surprised he was able to birth Barron. I'm crashing out accidentally. Gosh, what else was there? Oh, and then he's basically he's a homo for Israel. He's just, gosh. And what's sad is people are like, like, I'm not so much into that. I hear the people and all, but like, even I can tell that something's whack. Like, I'm sorry, but like, Israel does have a bit of a lean on our country, which is kind of weird. I understand, things happen, but like, it's a bit apparent. Like, you got to touch the wall and stuff like that. So anyways, so yeah, Gen Z does not like her. Well, doesn't like Trump. And so this is fruit of the poisonous tree because she wants his approval. Because she didn't get it from her father. That is kind of a joke. That is in her book. I think when I thought I read something from a description of her book specifically says something about that she kind of wanted to make her father proud because her father was cold and other stuff. I thought there was something in there about it. But she talks a lot about Trump, which is not particularly a good thing because, as I said, there's Gen Z, but there's also the fact that she's bringing up Trump all this time, right? Like, for crying out loud, this was today. Hold on, 7th? Yeah. This was today at 12. This is Nancy Mace, 200 days of winning. This picture, it's a 2024, so it's a fairly recent photo. And I didn't even realize Mace was actually, she said something about January 6th. I had no idea she said something of that ilk. But here's the thing. She puts this photo here, right? She puts this photo because she wants the people to be like, oh, I'm supported by Trump, and Trump and me are chummy pals. No one will fight harder for South Carolina or work harder to earn President Trump's endorsement. South Carolina first. Arr. Here's the problem. Is that she needs Trump's endorsement. She needs that approval. She needs to have that endorsement, or else she's probably going to lose, because she really needs that endorsement. But here's the thing. She needs that endorsement to win, and she knows it. And that's why she keeps pounding on Trump, because she has nothing of value to actually have said. She released some plans or whatever. I haven't even seen a tweet about those. She just writes them and then says that oh, I'm going to fight. She didn't even write anything. This is her tweets. She doesn't have anything because, well, behold, she's not going to. Because this is practically all that she can say, is because I literally just proved her track record. She doesn't exactly do anything. She talks a lot of smack. And again, this is talking a lot of smack. And she's trying to get in Trump's good graces, thinking that will help her win. What will help her win is actually focusing on South Carolina. South Carolina is the second thought. It's right here, South Carolina first. It literally is teamed with President Trump. She's got to be so chummy to him that she just forgets about South Carolina, which is just sad, honestly. Sad for her, not for South Carolina. South Carolina, you got other people, take those on. Don't leave her in the dust. But the fact that she knows that without President Trump's endorsement, she's not going to win, because if anyone gets that endorsement, they'll probably win. Because the older people, the boomers, still care about Trump's opinion. The youngers are all basically doing the information that I'm looking up right now and assuming what her positions are. Let's be fair. On Twitter, she is railed because she always does this type of stuff. That's why Valentina Gomez is also looked at funny, because they all do the same stuff. Now, so I say this with South Carolina should be our focus. Here's a thing from crap. I didn't write it down. There's something. I forgot what article this is from. But so I just want to show this. So it says Mace lobbied for an endorsement from President Trump. Okay. I have a rule for my campaign. I don't care who endorses me, because you can endorse me or not. It doesn't matter. But if I ever get on my knees and say, please endorse me, I'm not going to say that someone needs to shoot me, but someone better break my kneecaps, because if I'm kneeling, then I better be on the ground for one and done. Because if I am kneeling to serve, then I might as well just stay down there, because that's where my integrity, my valor, honor, all of that is just in the drain. No one, if you ever have to say, oh, I need this endorsement from someone, then you have nothing of value to say. It's the fact. I'm sorry, Mace, but if you have to lobby for an endorsement. Oh, this was CNN. Sorry, I don't know why that popped in my head finally. I don't know why. It's just the, it's also in the title, but I don't know why I read it and I was like, oh yeah, this is from CNN. I got this 20 minutes ago, so the fact it was in my brain. But so Mace lobbied for an endorsement from President Trump, right? Because there's a bunch of other people. There's another U.S. rep, the Attorney General, right? I'm just saying, I've done a lot for the president, which is very much of a quid pro quo, mind you. This sentence is littered as a quid pro quo. I've done a lot for the president. He better do something for me, or else I'm going to... or else nothing, woman. You're going to get sent back to your broken family that you probably did yourself, based on the fact that the next section is going to indicate some parts of you that, let's be fair, most women are probably repelled by you too. Why? Because you're basically a man. But I've done a lot to help. I've done a lot for the president. If you talk to him, I would really like his support for governor. If you need his support, like I said, if you need his support to win, or you have to lobby for his endorsement, then no. Yeah, that immediately is just an honor and integrity. Let me zoom this. That straight up, if you have to be like, I need you to endorse me. If you have to say that to someone, then you're not worth endorsing. And that's like, and I'm not saying that you can't, there is obviously some modes of like, if someone asks you, hey, I'm going to endorse you, then maybe you could tell them hold off, or, start saying there's obviously some prudence, but but I'm just going to say this. But this one is just straight out. If she has to go, hey, President Trump, are you going to support me for governor? And if she doesn't get it at one, it's just going to be funny as hell. But two, if she has to be saying that, then she has nothing of value to repeat to voters other than, well, President Trump likes me. That means nothing in South Carolina. It would mean nothing in Oklahoma. If I ever said it, for crying out loud, I've written a teaser about this because it's idiotic. I'm crashing out on her a lot. This is what I said. Third time, we're done. I'm done after this. Any other time, I'm just going to put a dunce cap on her and tweet it out. I'm just gonna do that, or make a quick video and then that's it. I'm just gonna diss on her. I'm never gonna do another video about her because I can't. I'm crashing out. So, but it seems like the others are also touting out their stuff. So she's kind of like, I need his actual endorsement. So, gosh, that section took a lot out of my tongue. Now, I thought I had another one after this. We're on 4A6. Oh, we're on B. We're on Zionism. So, yeah, I don't remember why I actually had this photo. I took it, and I think I had a thought about it, and then for some reason, but there was something about this that I was stopping myself for reasons. I think it was the Trump in high heels. I guess that was just it. I guess I got this earlier than the others. Oh no, there we are. There's the. So she says right here, said she is the best positioned to carry out his agenda in South Carolina. Okay. Not to state a dumb question, but where's yours? Why is it? Oh, well, President Trump has a directive and I'm going to follow my orders like a good little soldier. You're South Carolina. You're going to eventually probably have a problem and you're going to have to just diss the federal government. You may have to be contesting with Trump. Trump does not control South Carolina. You do. He shouldn't be having the power over that. That's how the system is. But it's oh, well, we're going to applicate his mission and his goals. It's Trump is not running for office. You are. Either have something original, which I will say she did have stuff. I just didn't read them. Because there's just a lot about her already out there. I don't really need to go in the nitty gritty. But if you have to do if you're gonna state that, oh, we need President Trump and we're doing President Trump's work, then you don't have anything of value to offer, which means there's only two options. You either make something of valor or anything of value, or you scoot out of the public eye, because it's either you have it or you don't. And I'm not saying that it has to be perfect, but if you're going to say, well, we need to applicate Trump's mission could overlap with yours, but what is yours? And if yours is just repeating what President Trump says, then you're not actually, you have no brain. You might as well be a computer. An AI can do your job. We just write the code and then we're done. That's how easy you are replaced, woman. So, furthermore, so we talk about pro-Trump, and I mentioned that Gen Z don't like him because of the fact that he's a Zionist. Because, let's be fair, he's getting very close to that. He's getting very close to being a Zionist. So, she wrote this tweet, which I don't remember what it was. But she got supposedly 22 for her first day. But I find it funny. She says this campaign isn't backed by the swamp. Leaving that there for right now. It's fueled by hardworking Americans who are ready to take on the establishment. Okay, yeah, that's just a bull crap because she is funded by the American-Israel Pact. Hold on, what's the IPA? Or APAC? Okay, the American-Israel Public Affairs Committee. She is funded largely by it. Because literally in this tweet, you saw downwards there was the stuff of she's got like 60K, 160,000 something and whatnot. So she is getting paid. So no one better be saying that she's grassroots. No. She's getting funded currently for her not state house, for the U.S. House. She's being funded by a organization that seeks to prioritize Israel over America. And that is coming from a normie that sees this stuff because the normie is seeing things and he doesn't go, well, just trust the plan, because trusting the plan requires trusting the leader. And the thing is I don't trust Trump. So I don't trust the plan. So, oops, sorry, started a video. So she's a Zionist. Like, we're all gonna agree. That is something that she went to the wall. She went to the Wailing Wall. She put the hand on. She went to the Wailing Wall. Oh. So, okay. So later. Whew, okay. I forgot to add that. Wow. I completely forgot about the prayer breakfast. That's insane. That's maybe I can write that in, bro. Or well, I guess we could do a feminist. And we're talking about she's a feminist. Like that's a charge I'm gonna levy on her. She's a feminist. That is non-negotiable. Or at least I think it's a non-negotiable. So now why would I say that? Right? Why would I say she's a feminist? Right? Because I can say she's a feminist. Okay, cool. Well, here's the thing. This one video is going to encompass like so much of it. So let me play it first. So let me little prologue or whatchamacallit, foreshadowing of what we're going to discuss later. So let's hit this up. Oops. Sorry. I got to remove you. Thank you. And you know what? I'm not going to flip it actually. Okay. So if any of you don't remember this video was very funny. It went viral quite a bit. I think Matt Walsh talked about this. This is how dumb this video was. But yeah, I don't know why she thought it was in her best interest to start arguing in an ultra beauty, which mind you is we're now boycotting. And I put my parentheses, or not parentheses, but quotes, because Republicans are always boycotting stuff, and we come back to it. Like, for crying out loud, I was at the Catholic Creators Conference, and that nose broke. I was literally I said this to the religious hippie. I basically said it's really hard to say like we're boycotting anything when it's that's why I creeped her out. Sorry. What was it? Hold on. I was talking to her and I said like, well, we keep boycotting stuff and then it's like we come back to it. So it's like, what's the point of the boycott? Because we're not actually doing the boycotting anymore. So because like everyone shops at Target. That was what I said. And I think this is why. I think I finally realized why I think I freaked out. So I went to okay, there's a video I'll have to post, but I accidentally think I scared Sarah Stock, the girl that had the engagement ring now. I think I accidentally weirded her out. And that was on accident, but I don't know if it was that or the fact that I talked about. So does anyone remember, sorry, quick squirrel. Does anyone remember that Target tried to sell a transgendered or a trans, what was it? Hold on. Gosh, I got to do the right trans women. It was trans women swimsuit. And so it was for men, right? And it was in the women's section. This had to be like 2023. I was then talking that, because we were boycotting because of that, because Alex Stein did a whole video when he went and got on. I made a joke one time, or I made a joke while I was at the conference, and I basically said at one point I did consider getting it as a riff because one, I needed a new swimsuit, so it kind of was a two birds, one stone, but also because I was just like, I'm dumb enough to do stupid things like that. I'm not saying that like I'm a man and that's why I could fit it, just just saying. But it's like I'm dumb enough to do stupid things like that because I think it's funny. And because I think it's funny, I would do it. Now if anyone put me in it, different story. I have to choose to do humiliating stuff because I put my spins on it. But anyways, just a quick aside. But I think that's why I made, for some reason, Sarah Stock seemed very weary of me, and I don't know why. I don't know if I got e-girl repellent on me, which somewhat sad. I wish I had a goth sorry. I wish I had goth catnip. I'm joking. Partially. So anyways, but so if anyone remembers this video, because this video was very funny. It's about 2 minutes. We're not gonna watch it all. Mainly because of the fact that there's some cussing in here. I didn't bleep out the F words. I think she might say a few and him, but I'm gonna do a little bit, and then once it gets kind of like, okay, we're done here. Sorry, been on my butt for an hour and 15. It's kicking. Kicking. I don't know what that word means. But so she was in this Ultra Beauty, right? So this is why I'm gonna say, like, she was scared of this constituent. She's scared of this guy.
I do them every year.
Every year.
You want to keep going?
Do you
want to keep going and keep harassing me? You could have gone to a dozen.
Okay, I just want to start out. We don't know what started before this, but let me review it back. I'll go back to 8 seconds. But right out of the get-go, who's calm and who's not?
I do them every year.
That was calm.
You want to keep going?
That was sassy.
Do you want to keep going and keep
That was threatening.
harassing me? You could have gone to a dozen town halls last year.
I asked if you're doing any more this year. It was one simple question.
Yeah.
Are you doing a town
I've
hall
already
this year?
done one. I'll do plenty
Are you doing
more.
any more this year? It was a simple question.
You're always invited.
Okay, sweet. Well, look
And
out
by
for
the
an
way,
actual invitation
I
for the next
voted for gay marriage twice.
I do have to. Okay, so I don't know if he is gay. I understand people will talk about the short shorts and all, but let's be fair. Some straight guys act gay. But even from that, to say that as somehow it's a get out of jail free card is probably the weirdest thing to throw into a conversation. Not only that, she basically just told him, like, oh, you're gay. Okay, woman, like, that's a weird throw. But as you can see, Mace is a bit confrontational to start out this conversation. Now, he is a man, but he's a gay man. Because I think he's gay, but let's be fair, Mace, you shouldn't be throwing out that he's gay. That's just, you have to have some proper courtesy as a rep. But anyways, continuing on.
So I'm just saying, it has to everything.
Okay, that what does it have to do with me? Yeah, that was gay.
To do with you.
Do you think everything about me has to do with gay marriage?
I do,
That's
absolutely.
your first stance when you
Yep.
speak with me?
Absolutely.
There's no other humane
If you want to get in my
conversation you
face
can have
about town
me?
halls, you should.
I'm just gonna say this. Dude is actually very calm for not just because he was being called gay. No. The fact that he is like calm while she is very like aggressive right off the gate. Commend him for that. Although he is gay, so he deals with a lot of women. I meant to go after her more. I don't know why I keep going after him.
Should have shown
There's
up to
no
one
other
last
humane
year.
thing you can talk about me just saying, oh, I support gay marriage.
Yeah,
That's
because you're getting in my face about a town hall. You could have gone.
Woman, he's giving you like 6 feet. We used to give that normally for people. because, you know, COVID and whatnot. Don't get in my face. Girl, I see more than his face. I see his entire body. We ain't anywhere in my face. I've seen, for crying out loud, I saw what's that organization? Tradition, Family, and Property, the TFP. Catholic people, they always do the abortion stuff. I've seen pro-aborts get in their face more than this guy. Like, don't talk about, oh, you're in my face. They literally got like pelted the other week or something. Like, don't talk about me. Nah, we're not letting you walk away with that. I'll give about 20 more seconds. I want him to walk away.
Last year.
Question from
Would you like me?
If you have any plans to have more town halls this year?
I have town halls every year. I have over a dozen every year.
Great. That was my entire question. You didn't have to go into the spiel about
You could have come to any of them last year.
Okay. And
I had over a dozen.
Year, not 2024.
Where were you the year before that?
Okay.
Or the year before that?
It was a simple question.
Oh, because you know what? Because you people on the left are crazy.
You people on the left are crazy. Ma'am, you literally started harassing him after he asked you a question, which, as a constituent, he's perfectly allowed to ask. And if you felt uncomfortable, you could have walked away. But instead, you know, gosh. As I said, this is the last time I'm crashing. This is the last time I'm crashing out. Not on the stream, but with regards to her. Yeah, gosh, I don't know why. Oh, South Carolina, please send her to the Shadow Realm.
You're absolutely fucking crazy.
I'm absolutely fucking crazy.
You are, and get out of my face.
You're insane.
Goodbye.
You're insane.
Fuck you.
You're gonna fuck me.
I don't know. You know, you might turn him straight after that. Oh wait, sorry. I've seen pictures of Nancy Mace. No, you ain't changing squat. Oh dang, I am aggressive. Yeah, that comment today that I got from someone. Yeah, the sexism commentary. I'm sorry. It's just it comes with being a part of YouTube and Twitter and being a man. So. What was I talking about? Okay, right. This is why I have the roadmap. So, like, she's pretty aggressive, right? She's already, like, she's cussing like a sailor for no reason. Then they start doing, I'm not going to show the main part, but eventually they just start doing, like, is it from Ted? I've not watched the movie, but I've watched the short where, like, some people are like, F you, and then it's F you, F you, F you, and then someone else gets included. And then, but it's like, that was that beginning part of just like the F's thrown back to everyone where it's like it was like the middle finger meme of like the guy who walks up, gives him you give him the bird, and then the other guy like walks up, gives the bird, and it's just a back and forth of who gives the bird off. That's essentially what she just did. Yeah, so she just cusses like a sailor. She's got this nice, you know, masculine bravado. She's very manly, right? Because, you know, she cussing like a sailor. She's not exactly talking like a woman. She's very manly. She's basically a man without a wiener. And more like in her case, she would have just a wiener. There'd be no foreskin because she's a Zionist. Sorry, I hate my brain occasionally too. So I think that she's a feminist. I really think that she is, because there's been other stuff that she's done. She does a lot of these videos where she's got this gravitas. She doesn't exactly give the view of I would say, traditional woman, and given also that she's been divorced, repeat, twice. She's been divorced twice, premarital sex. There was literally, I guess this is where I bring it up. She had that prayer breakfast, if everyone remembers, the prayer breakfast, right? The prayer breakfast where she said the guy that she just also accused of being a pedophile or a predator, that guy she was sleeping with, and he tried to get a bit more in the morning because they were sleeping in the same bed. And she had to then say, no, I got to make it to a prayer breakfast, which is very ironic. And this is why I say Protestantism. I'm sorry for those of you that are Protestants, but you got to admit, in the Catholic world, we'd be smashing man. Now okay, let's do a flick. Rewind. In the Catholic world, we'd be yelling at them for very, very obvious reasons. In the Protestant world, it's kind of harder to say like where the reasoning is for this and that. That's why there's, mainline Protestantism, evangelical Protestantism, and those are just two big groups, and then they splinter into like evangelicals, Lutherans, Presbyterians, Episcopals, or I can't say that to save my life, Pentecostal, Reformed Baptist, just probably a normal Baptist, not denominational. I'm not even going to include the Jehovah's and the Mormons or the Latter-day Saints, but I think that's the same thing. So, anyways, just saying that started off. But I also think she broke her family up, or her family got broken up, and she's moving on. Which again, in Protestant circles, divorce is not seen as a negative. Why? Because it just isn't. Because there is no sacrament compared to the church. Now, I understand a lot of people will talk about like, oh, well, you got annulments. Those are Catholic divorces. No, they're not, because they got to fulfill a certain requirement. That's weird. Okay. It did not show up for some weird reason. You got to actually fill in like requirements. It has to be a total free. If you break either that it wasn't total, it wasn't free, it wasn't fruitful, or it wasn't faithful. You got to do one of those. It's one of those four. If it breaks one of those four, then the annulment can be given. But that's because, like, if it's unfaithful, well, you weren't actually faithful to your vows, and thus that was it. But usually it's not just one. It's usually a multiplication of those. And that's given up to the church to determine. We cannot self-determine that our marriage was not. We may have some indications of that. That's about it. But what I think is funny is that she wants to talk about, she wants to, like, I'm going to say she's a feminist. Well, she kind of broke up her family before she went to DC. She was married during 2018. So when she started her campaigning for the state, she was married. After, not. And more than likely, I wonder if that's the thing. It happened with Boebert. Boebert, I think the only reason that Boebert is actually divorced is because she's not home in Colorado. I don't even get it that Colorado is somewhat red or blue or whatever. But so moving to that, she wrote this, which I thought was interesting. So she writes this on the Twitter, right? Which is where I get a lot of my news, which I'm sorry to be pulling from, but that's just how I get stuff. But it's funny because she says that she signed the, here we are. The last night she signed the Moms for Liberty Parental Rights Pledge, putting my ink on paper and my word on the line. Woman, you literally put your probably hands on the... Okay, no, you didn't put hands on the Bible. Sorry, I had to think about Protestant services. Technically, they're not. There's no... there's none of that. But you made a covenant in front of God twice. Twice. The ghost is still alive, I'm pretty sure. I'm highly suspecting you're divorced. You would be widowed. That's typically how it works. So I find it funny to be all like, my word on the line. Girl, you couldn't even last a marriage. Don't give me this like, oh, my word is valued. Your word died with your first divorce, and then it sunk with the second. And then, of course, my word means everything. Girl, no. But needs protect them from inappropriate content in the classroom. Girl, you literally just brought in Sydney Sweeney stuff. Inappropriate content. Yeah, big asses are inappropriate content, which is kind of sad given that she doesn't have one. But my thing is fun. I don't back down when it comes to... Actually, it wasn't this. It was in the pledge. I don't back down when it comes to our kids. No, you did. You broke up with the father of your children. The second marriage, mind you. The second marriage she had was 15 years. Broke it. So, a fire they can count on. Families have a fire they can count on. Girl, nah! You know who else they thought? You know who else thought you were a fire that they could count on? Your children. and you broke like 15 years, I'm gonna just assume that there's a kid that's 15 at that point. So you've not only have you like made a two parent household or a two house. I think everyone gets where I'm going. The fact that you've done irreparable harm to them by actually not sticking through the marriage. Now, I will say this: there are caveats where like that's what I was saying. Even with the Catholic circles, even if you do, if there is something that your partner is doing, evilly, then that would be more of a sign. Then that's where there's the faithful, the faithful, the fruitful, and the free. So, but my favorite line here. Excuse me. Is this one. So she signs it, right? Right here. Right there. Moral upbringing. Moral upbringing. Moral upbringing. Woman, you literally divorced your husband to get with another guy who then you called a predator. And on top of that, you've had premarital sex, which I thought most Christians, which includes Protestants and Catholics, I thought Protestants were a no-no on the premarital sex, although comparatively to the amount of single mothers that I see that are my age is surprising. Mind you, I'm 23. It's like, you want to talk about moral upbringing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the woman that literally is yelling at one of her constituents because he's asking a question and because, I am woman, hear me roar. Yeah, moral upbringing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, totally. Yeah, get out of here with that. Moral upbringing, my ass. Oh, I have another feminist thing. Oh, the joke. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I keep forgetting I have stuff. But I just every time I keep watching some vid, there's always like something she says that just makes me go like, huh? Huh? So this one.
Something's broken in South Carolina.
Let me shift. Okay. So I'll pause it eventually, but I'm just gonna let it play for right now.
Something's broken in South Carolina. They said stay quiet. I spoke up. They said play nice. I fought back. They said sit down, and I stood up. Corruption, chaos, cowardice. I've seen it all. Get ready, South Carolina. This isn't just a campaign, it's a calling. You and me, this is where our mission begins. God's not done with South Carolina, and neither am I.
Okay, so I find it funny. The first thing that popped in my head when she was like, oh, gosh, I can't believe I'm forgetting it. But she's like, they told me to sit down. They told me to be quiet. Yeah, because you're a feminist that couldn't shut the F up. We're trying to do some actual work over here, Nancy. We're not trying to check notes. Pass one law. We're thinking of passing quite a few. Because we're not seeking to be someone. We are seeking to do something. So, gosh, ironic. The accountability is just not even going to be there. So yeah, that's at least what I'm going to say. Like, I think she's a feminist. I'm going to say that, and I firmly believe that. She doesn't exactly give me the vibe that she actually like is womanly. Because like, what is a woman? Like, and I understand people say like, what is a woman? But like, what is a woman's purpose, duty, and like, she's kind of in public office. That's enough. That's enough for me to say that. And I know like some people are gonna go like, oh, that's a sexist comment. No, it's not. No, it's not. There was a study done from I thought some women. There was some or not there it was done with women. And given the choice between going to war or doing peace, guys always sought peace and the women chose war more than men. Which is ironic because men are typically the most violent. But the difference is that men grow in their like virtue and kind of hone their anger, so it's not enrage, and it's honed into a blade to be used. It's not just this like we throw at it or go at it. We actually like temper it so we don't just blow off like she did in that video with the Ulta Beauty person. So sorry, stretching my leg. So we got another. Why do I have this? Sorry, I keep. So she doesn't like the transgenders, which I'll be fair is a good point. She doesn't like the transgenderism. She had that McBride incident where she was doing the bathrooms and she didn't want the women or the men, the men that the man that's trying to be a woman, Sarah McBride, that's actually I forgot his real name. Chris, Tony, it was something. But, you know, I will give her credit. She does go after the transgenders. But, you know, one good fact out of like about 3 nons is not going to help her. Especially this. This is like low tier effort by now. Most people don't care about this. And I say that like this is just like most people just now on the Republicans just agree with for this. But I do like that she says protect our children, stop the abuse. I literally was talking in the fact that she divorced her husband. It's like protect our children from their father, right? But yeah, the mutilation of what is considered teenagers. Now, the thing that I say though with the kids though, a lot of conservatives, and I didn't look at this, a lot of conservatives get in this weird habit where they'll say, oh, well, I'm against kids getting transgender surgery and all that. But then it's like when they're adults, let freedom ring. And so you kind of get in that libertarian populist stance of just, well, if you want to do it, no skin on me. When in reality, there's a principle to be following. There's a certain law, certain truths in the world that can't be overridden no matter how much you want to. Just saying. That's why like we won't be doing that tonight, but it's like I was watching the Knowles talk with it was during the e-girls all met up again with Savannah Stone, Emily Saves America, Melanie Mack, and then Reagan showed up. I kind of forgot she was at the Daily Wire again. Her and Clavin, I just kind of forgot they were there. But it's like they were discussing, and you listen to Emily talk, and you could just hear because she'll say like, "No, this is wrong," and then give some reason why, which is ironic because she'll be like, "Oh no, this is wrong because of this," but because it's popular, because she was talking about the Sydney Sweeney stuff and how like, "Oh, the Sydney Sweeney's based, and you know, showing boobs is a good thing," because everyone likes boobs, right? You know, it's like there's not some reason to be, you know, modest. No, never. But so yeah, so she does go after transgenders. That's fine. However, she's a gay lover. And I don't mean that she is a lesbian. I mean that she's okay with homosexuality, which is big no. Because also what she doesn't realize is that she's talking about she's talking about the children from the parent, and that is the gays. The homosexuality movement birthed the transgenderism because we got away. Because as I say, with all due respect to the Protestants in the room, Protestantism broke us away from the church. We lost the domestic church with feminism. Then we got away from just what is truth with the homosexuality or like the breakdown of the marital aspect. And then we're just like the more divulging into living lies. Because we don't have the church to correct us. We don't have the domestic church to come in and correct us. We're just our own gods. And at that point, we decide what is truth and what is a lie. So, I actually think that was a pretty good assessment. That actually wasn't that bad. Which I think is ironic. I'm very like, I always find it weird that I'm kind of a bit aggressive, but at the same time, it's like I'll actually be talking normally to people. Like I got some of the most like rigid and like conservative takes ever, but it's like when I talk to people, I'm just chill. Which is very ironic. On Twitter, it's the same way. It's like I'll make jokes and some stuff, but other than that, no. So what do we got? Sorry, I'm looking at my written notes. So voted for gay marriage, Respect for Marriage Act in 2022. That I think kind of codified some of the gay marriage, same sex marriages. So she did vote yes on that. She did say that she didn't like the grooming of children of gay couples. Woman, do you not understand that if you don't like the fact that gay couples may be trying to groom children into becoming gay or sodomizing them, it's probably because they're gay? I'm sorry to yell that, but like, gosh, like you can't be that dumb to say, oh yeah, be homosexual. Be a homosexual. That's fine. Oh, but just don't, touch those kids in that manner. You know why they're touching the kids? Because they're gay. Sorry, I'm crashing out again. What's so funny is I almost got like a 12-ounce alcohol thing before we did this. I'm not a heavyweight, but it would have been interesting to see how much looser my tongue would have been. But gosh, I can't believe though that you cannot be that dumb to say, like, you cannot see that because we have X, Y exists. Like, this is why it's always funny when we, like, there's the people that want to talk about, like, oh no, look at these gays, they're buying this child. And then they celebrated Dave Rubin and all these other, conservative gays because it's like, oh, well, they're on our side. No, they're not. They're not on my side. Hell, I don't even know if you're on my side now. You can call yourself a conservative all you want. And that's the thing. Calling yourself a conservative is easy. Living it's another. Yeah. If they didn't suck. If they weren't homosexuals, we wouldn't have to worry about the problems of this. And because it's a what was it? Hold on. I did this with Just a Catholic. Where is homosexuality in this catechism? I was going to say intrinsically evil, but homo, there we are. Right here. Okay. What was it called? Hold on. Looking for it. Intrinsically disordered. Okay. Intrinsically disordered. I think I said intrinsically evil, which is close enough. It's close enough that I don't think I get in flack. But anyways, so yeah, like we all it was so weird. There was one time. So Michael Voris he used to do Church Militant before he exploded it because he wasn't living a chaste life as he should, and I hope that he is now. But he was like Milo a bit. And so I get it, but here's the thing. He was talking to Schlapp, and Schlapp does CPAC, I think. I think he's still there. And he was talking about, he asked Schlapp a question over if gays should have children. And he was like, well, I don't know if our church has a thing about that. This just told you the Catechism of the Catholic Church, which is practically this is law for any other Catholics. This just told you that homosexuality is intrinsically disordered. You know why it's disordered? Because we're not supposed to be doing those said acts. So anything downstream of a intrinsically disordered is a faulty files. It's basically computer corrupted files. Anything that's coming from those corrupted files, you remove and renew them into a better light. What is that? Don't be gay. Now, again, hold on. Before I end this, because I'm going to go on to another point, I do want to talk about, just quickly, same-sex attraction, because the church does talk about the same-sex attraction. Let me make sure I have that. Because it's very weirdly written. Not in the catechism, but in Protestant circles, that if you're same-sex attracted, then that's a problem. Actually, the church says just because you are attracted doesn't necessarily culp you a belief. I'm looking for it right now. I just don't remember where it went. Okay. Either way, I don't remember where it is. But just because you're same-sex attracted, if you act as a chaste life and you do, like, let's say you're a man and you like and you're attracted to men, so long as you stay with women, you're kosher. Like, so long as you live a chaste life and you don't enact on those impulses, you're fine. But in Protestant circles, if you think it, then it's action. It's not the case. Yeah, just because you, and this is where, like, when there's like the, oh, I was born gay, it's like, okay, just because that's just a cross that you're gonna be carrying. We all have those. Like, people without an arm have a cross to bear. It's probably on one shoulder because they don't have one over here, but you know, you get the gist. And then, oh, I completely I forgot. Actually, I'll say this one. Let me show up this. Let me flop it because that is just worse. But so in Oklahoma, we legalized medical marijuana. There are so many shops here now. It's insane. Honestly, when I get in an office, I truly want to eliminate some of these places because, gosh, there's a lot. Like, there's like 3 in the school I used to go to for high school. There's like 3 on the main street. Now, I don't know if how many of them have died recently, but like, do not tell me like, oh, there's like 3 on like a 3-mile stretch. It's like you don't need that much. There's not enough people in this city for you to be making bank. So, but anyways, Mace, she wants to legalize marijuana like alcohol. Yeah, no, just nah. Nah. Have you? I don't need to really say anything. All I'm gonna ask you to do is take a look at Seth Rogen. Just take a look at him. I think you'll all get. Yeah, let's not. Gosh. And then of course marijuana. Like marijuana, I thought has like some property to it where it's actually kind of like lose some of your functions, so it's actually bad. There was some guy telling me about that. Like, if you ever have any, it's actually like a mortal sin because, I can't remember. I don't know where it was from or anything. I remember him telling me, but I didn't really, I didn't necessarily question it. Like, I'm not gonna touch it anyway. So if it is, it is. But the other thing I want to talk about is abortion. She was talking about abortion. So actually, reviews later. We were talking about abortion. Whoops, sorry. We're talking about abortion because that's the other important issue that we need to talk about. So she was on Face the Nation in 2023. So on CBS, and she had quote. So this is from the transcript that they had of the 2023 Face the Nation. I didn't watch it. I read it. This is what she said about a 6-week ban. Mind you, 6 weeks. You hear the heart. This heart's there by, I think, 6. So that is why it's not. That's why most states are choosing that. However, I wish that it would be a 0, but she is saying 6 is too far. So, quote from the transcript, signing a 6-week ban that puts women who are victims of rape and girls who are victims of incest and in a hard spot isn't the way to change hearts and minds. I hate that sentence. So I hate that phrase so much. Changing hearts and minds. It's such a cop out. It's not passionate. End quote. So this was talking about DeSantis in Florida whenever he unleashed the abortion or the pro-life bills, or he signed it. You know, that type of jazz. But she's just said a leftist talking point of, well, what about the victims of rape and incest? Which I already did a video talking about like the incest. I don't understand why that's specified as a category, because if it was non-consensual, then it's rape. If it was, every human life is valued because it is made in the image and likeness of God. Yes, genetically, kids, mentally, well, mental, yeah. I I don't remember what all goes into it, mainly because of the fact that I don't intend to do anything of that manner. So I don't care on like what would happen if two people of the same family hooked up. I don't want to know. Because it's just weird. However you put it. For crying out loud, I got weirded out for the fact that in the Flash series from CW, you had Barry Allen and Iris West. Iris grew up with Barry, and so he was kind of like they were kind of like pseudo brother and sister, and then they got into a relationship. It's just I can't be the only one that was like that's kind of weird. Patty Spivot all the way, just saying that. She was also cuter, just saying that. But staying on the abortion, she also said this, and this is another quote from the transcript. So this is during the conversation. So there's an ellipsis. I have been so vocal on this issue. I would like us to win. I would not only like us to win the Electoral College, I want us to win the popular vote, end quote. So she's a populist. She doesn't believe in anything. So even the stuff that she's saying now, she doesn't believe. That's all that tells me, is that she doesn't actually have a backbone and believe in something. Because she goes, well, I want us to win. Because Emily from the Michael Knowles, when they were doing the debate, you can hear, if you pay attention to when Emily talks, you can hear the subtle jabs at, well, we need to win. And so we need to lose some concessions on this and this. Because if we don't, we're going to lose. And the thing is that if you have that mindset, you're always going to drop something in order to win, because the enemy is always going to push and push and push you. And it's eventually going to advance where it's just going to consume you. So don't give me this like, well, we need to win type stuff. No. I ain't dealing with that. No. No one believes that anymore. Gen Z is like tired of it. Which I'm so happy for. I'm tired of seeing this like, oh, we're gonna lose. I'm talking for 2 hours. That's insane. We're gonna lose the election because we actually care about women. Checks notes, dressing modestly and not looking like a hoe. Wow, who knew? We're gonna lose elections because we don't let Sydney Sweeney show us her boobs. Boomers. Of course, it's always the young guys who are like, nah, she shouldn't be showing that stuff. And the boomers are all like, it's like, no, you listen here. And there's like one hand. Listen here, Sonny. It's like, you don't know what you're talking about. It's like, where's your other hand? It's always a boomer, right? Do I have everything? Hold on. No, I don't. Okay, it's always a boomer. I don't know why boomers have even Gen X have these weird profiles, and it's always like I'm wearing shades and a ball cap, and I look like I could rip you up, and it's like you literally are the most degenerate person alive. Like you're not threatening to me. You have nothing politically aggressive to state. I'm not afraid of you. Just no, I'm not afraid. You barely register. So she's not happy with the 6-week ban. She just wants to have victory. Here's the thing. Having victory, and mind you, having victory. What did I talk about earlier? She really needs that endorsement. Why? Because she has nothing of value to say, because she is practically whatever you want her to be. Which is very ironic given that she has been divorced twice. You would think that if she's going to be a chameleon, she would at least have kept one man. I don't know why I keep bringing that up, but it's probably the most easiest to knock her over for stuff. I really hope I do not. Here's the thing. I'm railing on it because I come in with a lot of Gen Zers where marriage is a one and done. And of course there's an asterisk of things happen type stuff, but we're going to assume that everything's peachy. I'm never divorce is never on the table. And I understand the red pill are going to go, well, you're an idiot. And I'm going to tell them, well, you're a cuck because you don't want to change the divorce laws to get married. So don't give me that. But it's marriage is a one and done. It shouldn't even be on the table. Just because you have an argument, that doesn't mean that you're supposed to be arguing with each other. Or somehow just because you have an argument that somehow your marriage is about to dissolve. No, that's not how marriage works. You're supposed to be talking things out. Now, I think that there are some, obviously there are arguments, I wouldn't say that breach a certain level, but I'm saying there are certain ways of like when we argue, everyone needs to have a certain like place. Like if like, for example, there's like, if let's say the woman is more emotional about something and that is where she is acting from and she needs to like cool it, that's what I'm getting at, where it's like she needs to temper that energy, so to speak. So now there were two bruh moments. Technically the one I forgot to show at the beginning of the stream. This is now the second. So this is a bro moment, and I just have two images. I forgot what this one was. So, Democrats do a lot of talking and still manage to say nothing. Woman, you say a lot and you do nothing too. Do you want me to go back to show that law? Don't give me that. Don't. This is where I say, bruh, you cannot be this. You cannot accountability. What word am I looking for? Self-centered, maybe. But anyways, another broad moment. South Carolina is tired of politicians who smile for the cameras. Woman, you literally run a PR. You ran a PR firm, and you're basically doing everything you can to be someone. You do a lot. Lie to your face. Well, you did. What did I catch her on today? I caught her on something. What was it that she was lying about? I forgot, and that's probably okay. What'd she lie about? Oh, she lied that she was like fighting for you and stuff. Yeah. And then vanish when it's time to lead. Well, you're a woman, you're not supposed to lead. But lie to your face. She lied to your face. Yeah, South Carolina, she lied to your face. She said that, oh, I can do stuff. No, she can't. We all prove. I just proved that. In the PR guru, that's in the section, the third section of the stuff. After I said, oh, she's got the PR firm. Here's some funny videos. Here's her going after Crockett. Here's the singing stuff. Then we talk about that. Oh, she's a lawmaker from Congress.gov and doing all that stuff. Yeah, didn't join the club. Woman, you literally are about you. If Trump said, suck me off and you get the endorsement, you'd be on your hands and knees. And you'd be there for a couple hours. Like, don't talk about join the club. Woman, please. Join. Sorry, I'm going to join the club. I didn't come to join the club. Woman, you literally are saying, like, Trump, please endorse me because I need you to. So, hey, is that it? Did I actually finish it? We're done. It's finished. We can finally move on. There's no more talk about Nancy Mace in this channel. I'm never going to be talking about Nancy Mace again, except when she loses and I laugh into oblivion. I will post a 2-minute video of me saying that I will. Actually, I'm going to write that down. I'm just going to write that down. I'm going to forget about it if I don't. I'm just going to do a 2-minute laugh. Yeah, just a 2-minute laugh if Nancy Mace loses. Because honestly, that's what she deserves. Because that's how much of a joke she is. Okay, I failed, but that's fine. So, I talked about it for 2 hours. Wow. I've gotten weirdly somewhat like more comfortable in doing this. So, but this was like my this again, as I said when I started the stream, this is like my favorite section of doing this. I like doing the takedowns. So like next week I'm going after Vivek. That brown boy is done. I don't care. Like it's not that I'm racist that I'm going after him, it's that I'm American. So that'll be next week, mind you. Pre-gaming there for some of you. Oh, closer. Oh, review. Sorry. I'm skipping steps. So, review. So, Nancy Mace hardly did anything. She wants to talk that she does a lot of work. She's introduced a lot of stuff, but she's only passed one law that she's written. Even sponsoring stuff, it's 4% of the introduced laws. She says she's in the top 2%, which means that she beats out 98% of Congress. That's a fat lie. She says it's not about me, but then she does a lot of PR stuff related to make herself prominent. She's basically telling Trump, like, I will do anything, like anything for you. She's basically what's the girl? It's not Starlight. I haven't watched The Boys, but the woman, she said she'd do anything for Homelander, and then it's like she did some like pregnancy thing so he could take a hit off her boob, which was a weird time on Twitter because I saw that everywhere. And yeah, once was enough because I didn't know where it was going, which is just whoops. But anyways, she's really, yeah, again, she's too much on Trump. She's not actually focusing on you people, that being South Carolina. I'm pretty sure she's a feminist. She rails against transgenderism, but she's okay with the gays. So she's always going to be stuck in this perpetual cycle of, well, you can't be gay. You can be gay, but you can't be trans. But then, which even if you got rid of the trans, it'll just come back up. It's kind of like a perennial. It's going to die and then come back in the spring. Abortion, she's weak as hell on that. Oh, and then weed, which honestly is not as bad as the abortion one, but whew, is a doozy. Oh, she's a Zionist. I forgot about that. So I would give her like send her to the shadow realm. Yeah, send her to the shadow realm, especially with the abortion stuff, because like that's just worse. Out of everything, like I understand I'm Catholic, I'm fulfilling the stereotype, but like, no, nah, we're not doing that. Nuh-uh. Woman, you better, you being Republican, I thought meant, well, it used to mean that you defended life. There is no defending life, according to Nancy Mace. If in the name of victory, oh wow, she's feeling the meme. I sacrifice my child for a better life. She's literally doing that. I sacrifice our children, the nation's children, so we can have a based mommy in government. Ooh, you know. So yeah, I would not bring her on. I would send her to the Shadow Realm. Do not vote her in. I know I said that we would go through quickly. What's his name? Gosh, what's it? I need to do a closer, but let me write his name before I do. Alan Wilson. We'll take a. Oh, he's a musician. Hold on, gotta do an AG. Okay, so we are going to hit a few sites up just before I can do that. That's for Attorney General. We are just gonna. Oh, that's the governor. Okay, I found it. Okay, we'll take a look at what he is after. Oh, there's an ad. So, Nikki Haley was governor. Oof. South Carolina, why are you having these weirdos? I swear. I've never seen a state with the most like horrible candidates. You got Lindsey Graham, you got Nikki Haley, you've got now Nancy Mace. Can you guys not have anyone with like something? Where's Adam Warlock? Warnock. Was it Adam? Warnock. What wasn't he Reverend for, where are we looking? Is it North Carolina? Hold on. Validating. US Senate Savannah. Oh, Georgia. Okay. We're okay, close, but not necessarily there. Yeah. Okay. So the closer that I'm gonna give, it's not really that much of a closer. It's a warning. MAGA, your days are numbered. Because Gen Z, like, we don't like Trump anymore. Why? Because we want stronger Trump. We want 2016 Trump. We're not getting that. MAGA is whatever Trump thinks. But the thing is Trump is trying to hold on to something that he started, but it's become something more. So he's still trying to hold on to what would be the caterpillar. We're trying to be butterflies, bro. So 2 words. So I'm only going to say this advice. Either get with the time, that being us, get a bit ballsier, or step aside. And this is why I think that you're seeing a lot of Trump just like no one cares anymore. Because no one actually cares that Trump does X or Y anymore. If anything, we're all depressed that he's either cucked by Israel or that he's doing some things that we go, bro, you literally said this. Like he can't even get the Epstein list out. And because and the one time he did, he literally had a bunch of influencers who said like, hey, look what I have. I have a binder of stuff, you know. And then we have, of course, everyone saying that there's nothing there and stuff like that. Maybe it's a good thing that I didn't. So MAGA, your days are numbered. Like the boomers, the boomers are dropping, and Gen X, even some of them aren't happy with Trump. So we're getting into this like point where MAGA is going to be consumed. It's either going to take a populist stance, like with what Emily Saves America believes, or it's going to take on a more Christ-pilled Catholic approach. In which case, MAGA is going to die. It's going to be consumed by a new force, a new power. MAGA may still be in Trump's hands, but it's filled with a bunch of, as I said, older people. And I'm not saying that older people don't have opinions of value, but some of them are blinded by Trump, and they think that he is this, I wouldn't say God, but more or less, because Trump can do no wrong. Oh, Trump was saved by that bullet, which conspiracy theorists on my side, I wonder if he actually staged that. Now, I also think Trump is working with the Democrats and all, and they all are like the uniparty stuff. But I think it's all in the shadows. The war is supposed to be a joke. So, but we'll find out. But it's just the youth are not accepting this infinite approach anymore. And MAGA is going to have to understand that they're going to have to get and listen to the younger people. And Trump's been working, I think, on that. But I don't think he's but I think Trump is one guy, and there's a dozen non-Trumps that are not wanting MAGA to become something more, because it does then go after their goals. Because if that Epstein list is revealed and it's practically everyone in Congress, this is gonna be funny. But yeah, gosh, that's just sad that this is the state of. You know what? Maybe I'll save those for next week. This is just a sad state of MAGA. That like the greatest female fighter of MAGA is either Marty Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, or Nancy Mace. I can't think of another one. I honestly can't. I don't know. I can't think of another woman that's like. I'm not. Yeah, Nikki Haley is just. Carolina Leavitt, she's the press secretary. I kind of went after her because she sugar daddied. And then, of course, she's Catholic, so it just makes it worse because she premarital sex plus kid. What else am I missing? Gosh, who else is there? I said Boebert. If anyone writes in the chat who I may be missing, you can totally send me. But yeah, other than that, that is at least the end. This is the final. Hold on. Let me get a book. This is Nancy Mace, and how much more I'm going to talk about her. We're not. We're done. She is no longer. I feel so much better after that. I actually do, funny enough. We are done. Nancy Mace is no longer being brought up on this channel. She is going to be known only as a servant of evil. She is the she what's the thing in Lord of the Rings? Hold on. What's the Witch Queen or the Witch King? The Witch King of Akmar. Sauron's most deadliest servant. Sauron's most deadliest servant. What is the a man that living no? I don't remember. Okay, it's fine. So, I want to quickly take a look. So, I don't have sound, which sucks. So let me see if I can do this right. So let me flip. Okay, so this is Alan Wilson. So this is her competitor. Let me see how good he is. Can I have a video? It's embedded. It's embedded. There's gotta be okay. There's gotta be a YouTube video somewhere. Okay. Okay, not too bad. This doesn't look that bad. If he's married, it's a +1. +1 over her. Combat veteran, proven prosecutor, and a conservative. Oh, hey, look. This is a bad. I'm going to say this. Anyone else that desires to. Actually, I'm going to shift where I am. Yeah, there we are. Anyone who desires to do this, to be the Trump guy, you're going to have to. Like, if you are wanting this type of photo, you just shouldn't get in politics. A lot of Gen Zers are going to see, or Zers, yeah, are going to look at this and just go, no. Took on Biden's transgender agenda. It's like, I always love when people say, like, oh, I'm, working with President Trump. It's like, you are literally in the state. I don't know how much Trumping you are actually chummy. For crying out loud, this is the same image. Hold on. This is the same thing Nancy Mace had. This photo is literally the same. Mace could have been here like 2 seconds ago. That's where this photo was taken. They both are near him. So, just out of curiosity, hold on. Sorry, let me back out. Oops, sorry, didn't mean that. Show me up, please. I didn't mean to. Okay, we're gonna have to. Thank you. Sorry, I hit the wrong thing accidentally. Before I do that, hold on. Balladopedia. Save my ass. What's his name? Alan Wilson again. Let me see how good this boy from South Carolina is. Yeah, I have an ad blocker on. Shut up. Actually, I don't. You just think I do. Oh. Yeah. No, never mind. Yep, he gay. And I said gay in the. So I said gay in the context of he's been in an AG for 14 years. Holy crap. We've got. See, this is why I say. I was talking earlier about term limits in Oklahoma. I think it's weird because as an AG, you only get 2. And it's like, it's kind of hard to do good work when you only have 2. He's been in office for like twice, almost twice what my governor could be in. That's insane. High school, Christ Francis, that's maybe. We got a law, we got military. Oh, he's a Presbyterian. Okay. I was really hoping he was Catholic. But no, when I saw this, okay, while serving as Attorney General, Wilson appealed a 4th court circuit ruling that said the state's ban on sorry, I read that the wrong way. I read that the other way. I thought he was gay. No. He's straight. The U.S. Supreme Court's June. Okay. The one thing I will say is I think Presbyterian is a mainline Protestant. So if he was Catholic, I'd feel a little bit better about saying like, yeah, sure. Presbyterian, though, is a mainline, and mainlines are a bit more institutionally gay. because they have that structure that they're just alleviating now. The evangelicals are like a smaller group now. I did a video with Just a Catholic in one of the streams of Can Protestantism Save America? And we kind of talked about that somewhat briefly as a mute. I wouldn't say mute point, but broadly. Political career. He's only been in the general, AG general. Okay, that's not bad. Here, hold on. I'm gonna grab you, and I'm gonna grab you, and I'm gonna grab you. Let's look at these other ones. So, just out of curiosity, hold on. I'm looking for religion. So we got Quality Business Solutions. Okay, well, she's a woman, so I probably would tell you not to go for her purely because of that. I know people are mad at me for that. It's fine. Okay, I'm not seeing anything. She's barely on this thing, so it's fine. I don't have an ad blocker on. I was hoping that I'd find something, but I'm not seeing anything. Okay. I was hoping that I could find, like, where is the... Oh, we got another Presbyterian. Okay. See, the thing that I have to say, though, is, like, being in the South, I got a problem of that, like, oh, well, who's Catholic? And, like, in Oklahoma, it's, like, 10%. So it's, like, that typically tells me some stuff. Because if you are going to believe in what the church believes, then, okay, that's fine. But if you're not, then I've got to, like, do more. Or I got to squash some of the... Sorry, I'm going to go down there. I've got to, like... It'll be very apparent. Let's see. Proven cross. I don't really care about that. The video will probably tell me a lot. Okay. Anyone who says, like, as I was saying, anyone who's got, like, I'm Trump tough is not what you want. Coalitions. Women for Wilson. Oof. Okay. See, this again. This is... Do not do that. Okay, so... Oh, he has a wife. Let's go. Presbyterian Church. Well, he's a dad. I'd feel better about him than at least Mace. I'd at least say that. Mace, I wouldn't like compared to him. I wouldn't like... Mace is a no compared to him. I like that he's got a family. His adopted father. Oh, okay. Like, this is better than probably Mace. I need to hear him talk, though, for me to get a vibe. And I understand that sounds gay, but I do... Like, my gut only activates on this. Hold on. Let me quickly... Whoa! Holy crap. There's a lot of you on Twitter now. Let me... Hold on. Whoa. Hold on. If you mention Trump, I'm going to lose it. You guys can't hear it, I know. Excuse me. Sorry. I can't find that. Hold on. There's gotta be a... Oh, there's a Twitter. I don't want to show my Twitter. Hold on. I just don't want to show that just yet. Here's the video. Let's go. That doesn't help me. Where is the YouTube, boy? So that I can... Okay, that's fine. I'm not seeing... I'm just glancing through this. I am not seeing Trump, though. That's a sell. Okay, what's Trump? Hold on. He says he's Trump tough. I gotta know. What do you mean by that? From defending Trump in court to supporting his cabinet. Okay. Gosh. Yeah. Bro, you are writing Trump a lot more than you need to. Oh no. Oh no. He wrote democracy. It's over, boys. He's lost. We're done. So, yeah, he is the front runner though. I don't know what he would be like. I don't know how to put this. I don't know how he would be. I'd have to do some more looking at him. But that would be on you. But I definitely say Nancy Mace is a no-no. Just out of curiosity. Hold on. Early life check. Nope, pretty good. Nothing there. At least not yet. Okay, well, I'm gonna hope that he's better. Gosh. Wow, I'm actually surprised. There's like 13 of you on Twitter. That's interesting. It's 11:20. I'm kind of out of it on. To be fair, I've been talking about Nancy Mace for like 2 hours. What does anyone? Well, let me think. I have something about Dave Ramsey and the patriarchy and the Return of the Land, which I guess I could talk about Return of the Land. That one was not anything I have, but maybe I'll save that. I don't know though. Dave Ramsey was kind of thick-ish. It's like 2 minutes of a vid and then me. I'm kind of tired though. I did a lot for Nancy Mace before anything, so maybe I'll save it for Vivek. I don't have anything yet, so I guess maybe next week it'll just be a bit thicker. I did not intend to spend 2 hours. Holy crap! You know, I used to do videos of all this. It would have been like a 40-minute video of me making fun of Nancy Mace, and now I'm just kind of like making jokes every like 20 minutes. So, I think that would do us actually. Yeah. For those of you that are on Twitter, because I don't know when you guys popped in, but I'm glad you're all here. But wow, I looked. It was at 6 for a while, and then it went 10 plus. If you guys liked what you were hearing and all, and you are like, I would prefer if you did this on Friday. Write me a message in the threat tweets and something. Hold on, I got a Twitter notification. If Nicole Victoria is still here, thank you for the follow. I saw that on my phone. But yeah, yeah. I'm only sad Twitch didn't work. I don't know why Twitch was failing. Either Twitch servers were not working, but hopefully I can do something to put that on. That's gonna be rough though. I don't know if I can play that back. So, anyways, but yeah, I'd like to thank you all for watching tonight. Next week I'll be talking about Vivek Ramaswamy and basically another takedown that I'm doing tonight. Finish him off because he's running for Ohio governor. And I kind of have a better closer for that. And it would actually mesh with Return of the Land too. So I think that would be good. I can also get the thing for Emily Saves America because I ran out of time to do that. So, gaming wise, if anyone actually is here for that instead, I am still getting the parts for the computer. So apologize for that. I'm it's weird life. I need to like prioritize getting this good, but I also need, but that takes some time, and then trying to do everything I want. So, fortunately, next week I don't have my Tuesday is free, so I'll be able to do better stuff hopefully. But yeah. If you like what you heard, please give me a follow. Either hit the subscribe, the follow. No one's on Rumble, so I'm just gonna leave that there. If you could heart it this, that'd be very appreciative. If you're on Twitter, or if you're on Twitter, give me a heart, retweet, whatever, help me out there if you feel like doing. If you're on YouTube, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. If you're gonna give me a thumbs down, at least tell me why. And if you want to tell me why with a thumbs up, please do that as well. But other than that, I think that's it. I don't think I have any maintenance tasks or housekeeping tasks to really say. If you'd like to follow me on Twitch, I'm there too. That would help me out as well. I technically should have streamed there tonight, but for some reason Twitch servers were crapping out. So I might have to try a fake stream and see what's going on. But yeah, other than that, Nancy Mace, send her to Shadow Realm. I better not hear that she's governor. I'm not going to do anything about it, but I hope that she's not governor. This is all I can do, right? Though it's like I'm in Oklahoma. The most I can do is talk some smack about her because that's all I can do. Like I am further away there. Like there was one thing about me talking about like getting her Drummond running for governor because he's literally who I'm going to vote for. Could vote for. Sorry, I've not voted for him. And then Vivek is kind of in the same scenario. It's like it's going to be on you guys. It's going to be on South Carolina. You're going to have to ball up. And I don't know if the other 4 are quality candidates, or 3 because we're just throwing Pamela. Although South Carolina, let's be fair, you've got Lindsey Graham, Nancy Mace. What was the other guy that I said like, oh wait, that's you? Gosh, I said someone during the stream. See, my brain's already popping out. There was someone that I said during the stream. Who was it? Gosh, I can't remember. It's fine. So, anyways, like get your act together. Like you've got these girls. You got Nancy Mace. Gosh, who was it? Oh, Haley. Yeah, Haley. You've got Haley. Nikki Haley. You guys really need to get your women out of politics. Some of them they're not exactly the most competent women. So, not the sharpest tool in the tool shed. Also not the youngest or the fair-lookingest. So, other than that, good night, everyone. I'm going to go. Well, I'm not going to bed, but I'm ending the stream. So, good night. Goodbye. If you're in Oklahoma, special shout out to you because you're my homebound people. So, yeah. Good night, everyone. Goodbye. Have a good night. I'll see you next Thursday.